welcome to Lilybugs Library. And my name's Linda. And today we have 3 books for Friday reads. So, truthfully, it's like 2 weeks, not a week, but that's okay. We're not going to talk about that. So, the first one is one that I read for online book club, and that was a middle grade book called The Island of the Blue Dolphins. So it was a pretty short one. It was about 194 pages. And I did listen to it as an audiobook. And it was about, takes place in the 1800s, and it's about this girl named Karana. Not sure how old she is. They probably tell us, but I don't really remember. Maybe 12, somewhere around there. So it just happens that she's has a lot of trouble with, her family getting killed, and her brother, is attacked by wolves and he is killed. And she ends up alone on this island and has to survive for herself. So it's all about her trying to do that and, spending years, in a place where she has to worry about wolves attacking. She has to worry about hunters that come to get the otter. She has a lot going on for a young girl. So it was very interesting. It was, I think a young child would enjoy it. Someone, 12, 13 years old, I think they would really enjoy it. I found it a little too young for me. I didn't really connect with it. But I could see, I think it won a Newbery Award, so I could see how, for the right age group, it would be a good story. So I gave it 3 out of 5, so not bad. So the next one I read, it was the 4th in the Inspector Gamache series, and this one was called A Rule Against Murder. And this one was good. It didn't take place in Three Pines. It takes place at an old hotel where Armand and his wife Reine Marie celebrate each of their anniversaries. So on this particular time, they're, sitting there having, coffee or whatever and enjoying each other's company. And they see Peter and Clara show up from Three Pines. And so, oh, excuse me. So it turns out that they're there because all of Peter's family meets there for a reunion. And so they're there for that. Peter's family they're not nice people. And so it ends up that one of his family gets murdered. And so it's a mystery as to who did it. And was it one of their family that did it, and why? And it's very involved. There's a lot that goes on because the family's pretty messed up and has a lot of secrets and a lot of lies and mysteries. And so it's quite something. So I really enjoyed it. I always do with the Inspector Gamache ones. My favorite part is there's a young girl in the book, and there's one part where she's taking her Oreo cookies apart and licking them and then throwing them up onto the ceiling to see if they'll stick. So not something I'd want a child of mine doing, but it does at the same time sound kind of fun. So anyway, that was a kind of a humorous moment in it. But I would give it probably 4 out of 5. So it was a good story. So the last one that I read was a cozy mystery, and it was the second in I believe they're called the Snowden Family Clam Bake Mysteries. I probably got that wrong. I didn't write it down, but it's the second in that series by Barbara Ross, and this one was called Boiled Over. So it is about Julia Snowden, and she and her family put on this clam bake every year, and this is what, helps keep them running and helps, with, the different things they do throughout the year. So someone ends up getting killed and then placed in a fire that they would have like a big bonfire going. And so nobody, seems to really know much about the person who got killed. But as time goes on, they start to figure out that he's, they think he's somehow connected to an employee that Julie had hired. And the employee is now missing. So now they're wondering if he's the one that did it. And it's a good story. What I did find was it was not as cozy as some stories are. So there was a part where Julia actually sleeps with her boyfriend, and it's, very tame. It's, mostly closed door, but still, it's unusual for a cozy. And there was, let me see, what else was there? Oh, and the main character, I listened to it on audio, and I know this is not the fault of the author at all, but I listened to it on audio, and I thought that Julia sounded much younger than I thought she was. And I guess she is quite young because I think they say in the book she's like 23 or something. For some reason, I didn't picture her that young. I pictured her in her 30s. So, anyway, that was interesting. So, it kind of took a little bit away from it for me. It just didn't go with what I was thinking in my head, I guess. So I don't know if I'll listen to any more of them on audio, but the story was good. So anyway, with all that, I would give it probably a 3.5 rounded up to 4. So those are the books that I read. And as for what we're doing, we're still watching a few different things. We are watching Halloween Baking and Halloween Wars. We're knee deep in those. We just love those Halloween shows. And we also found one called Back on the Frontier, or Back to the Frontier, or something like that. It is so good. We're really enjoying that one. It's about 3 families who leave their home and devices and jobs and head out to the frontier to act like they're in the 1800s and build a homestead. So that one's been really interesting. And with what I'm reading, I just started The Ghost and Mrs. Meyer, I think it is, The Ghost and Mrs. Meyer. So that one's, going along well. I just barely got started on it. I did read one more book. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I almost forgot it. So I read one that was an ARC from NetGalley. So thank you to NetGalley and to the author and publisher. And I'm so sorry I forgot, but I remember it before the end of the video, so that's good. It was called Resuscitation, and it was a thriller, and really good. It was one of the ones that I had mentioned when we did our episode about the 10 thrillers that were coming out in the fall. And anyway, it was really good, and it was a lot of drama in it. It just kept you on the edge of your seat because there was a big snowstorm in it. So of course everything is not happening the way it should because the police can't get to them. Everything is stalled because of this weather system. And then it starts out, it's about these people that are working in what was an emergency treatment center, but through budget cuts and things, now they're not doing much of that. And they've taken away a lot of their equipment, and it's just kind of a shell of what it was. And these guys decide that, these criminals decide that they're going to rob someone. And so in the midst of all that, someone gets hurt and they head to this trauma center, although it's not anymore. And it's everything that happens surrounding that. So I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to give anything away because it is incredibly gripping. I will say if you don't like, violence and blood and things like that, this may not be the book for you. But the thriller aspect of it, it's definitely got that covered. It's got a little romance in it too, which is fine, and a little bit of humor, and so it's got a bit of everything. And I really couldn't put it down. I really enjoyed it, and I would give that one 5 out of 5. So that was it for me. And the only other thing I'm still reading now is I started Cold Clay by Juno Black. So I'm reading that, and I'm listening to The Ghost and Mrs. Meyer. So there, we got that all settled. All right, well, I hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.